Stop. Hey everybody, I'm live. You're jumping in. I'm gonna share things on you, Twitter, all that right now. All right, cool. Cool. We don't got anyone in yet. So sorry it's late today. I had a huge interview for the show. He wanted to do it at 8 o'clock. I wasn't going to turn him down. So this week's podcast is going to feature an interview with Jeff Lemire. So yeah, hopefully that's worth it for you guys. But I'm here. We weren't able to do a live stream during Free Comic Book Day. I got a little too crazy. That's my fault. Just reminds me next year to kind of try to do less. We tried to do too much, and although the day was super successful, and I'm really glad we did it, and I hope to do it again next year. We met some cool people. We got some new listeners and viewers. So any of you that are watching this, thanks for joining us. I'm humbled that anybody wants to watch us, and we were just so happy that people came talk to us and came away with some cool posters signed. I even drew a little goatee in since the posters were designed before I decided growing out. And yeah, it was a fun time. We gave away some comics, hung out, and got some interviews in. One of the guys, if you watched the show last week, Joe Pingrazio, who's done some cool books, known best for his Cthulhu Homes web series. Check that out. I believe it's CthulhuHomes.com. And he's got print issues of that as well. We're going to get him on the show next available slot I got, which good and bad, we're booked for a little while. So that means I got great guests for you all for the podcast. It makes it harder for me to get people on. I am also making an effort. It's been really nice. I've been, once again, so humbled and thrilled that we were able to do it, but we've had more high profile guests recently. I don't want to forget the indies. The indie guys got us here. I love the indie guys. So I want to get them in. That's why I'm getting Joe on the show. I want to get him some exposure. We're gonna call Wayward Raven back. I got to get in contact with them. Those guys have been supporters of ours, huge supporters of ours for a long time. So I want to get them back on to, bullshit with us and have a fun time. And we're gonna reach out to a few more too. Try to get some. I got cards from last con we were at. I got another con I'm going to next week. So next week's episode is going to be full with a bunch of mini interviews, and hopefully meet some guys we can get on the show as well there too for more long form interviews. Basically, what I'm saying is things are going awesome, and you guys are to thank for that, and I'm really appreciative of that. I feel like we're in a huge up hike right now. Numbers are up, viewership's up, listenership's up. My energy's been up recently. Everything's been awesome. So with that, I've got a few announcements with the channel and with the show and with everything going on that I want to add. I was going to do this last week, but like I said, we weren't able to do the live stream because Free Comic Book Day got so crazy, and I got stuck doing a lot of editing that night, so I wasn't able to jump on that night. But if you guys haven't noticed, we opened up our Twitch channel, so now we've got twitch.tv/FortressComicNews. That is going to be the launching point for things now. So the podcast being the big one. We're going to every Monday at 6 p.m. I'm going to have the podcast on Twitch, twitch.tv/Forge Comic News. You can watch it live there. It's pre-recorded. It just goes there, and then I will be in the chat during the whole thing while I'm about doing my things with the family. But I'll be there. You guys have questions while you're watching, or you want to just chat or whatever while you're watching, I'm there. I'm talking. As soon as that ends, it goes live for everybody. So it'll be in the previous streams part of twitch.tv/Forge Comic News. It'll be on the YouTube channel at that point that you guys are already aware of because you're watching this right now. It'll be live on podcast services. It goes live everywhere after that. So I'm only delaying you by a little bit, but I just think it's a cool idea. I've done a lot of research into Twitch, and after talking with actually with Joe Pangrazio, to be honest with you, it seems like a cool place to kind of grow another community and get more eyes on what we're doing here. And then the bonus to that is we get to live stream video games too. Mike and I are big gamers as well. That's actually what we originally kind of bonded on. I mean, we video games and Batman 66, so that's going to give us a chance. Bear with us. I've been trying to get it to work through my PC, and it's been rough. But we're not setting a schedule for that. It's if we want to stream a video game, we'll stream it. Once we get the hang of it, I've got a ready-made YouTube channel for that. So that's where all the video game stuff's gonna pop up. Yeah, but that's the Twitch channel. That's what's going on with that. The top 5 new comics for every week. You've been watching on YouTube, so you're probably aware of it. If you prefer it in audio, it is now going to pop up in the podcast audio feed. So every Tuesday afternoon, the audio version of that, which is going to be just the audio I ripped from the video, is going to post in the podcast feed. So if you want to listen to it as opposed to watch it, or you want to do both, support us either way, that's going to be there for everybody. Once again, I just think that's an addition we can do. And we have talked about adding to Patreon to make more incentives. I want to grow Patreon and let that do organically. Once we get to a point where I'm comfortable with what Patreon's doing, we will put in additional incentives there. But that's what that is. So anyone out there has a question for me, type it in the chat. I'm always willing to answer. And yeah, so Twitch channel, all that. We're going to post a podcast there first. The top 5 video will also post as a audio version for the podcast. The gaming stuff, once we get the gaming stuff down, we'll have the YouTube channel ready for you guys. I've got it set up. I just haven't gone live with it yet. And that's really all the announcements I had for that. Like I said, this week we got the huge guest. We got Jeff Lemire coming on. So Monday, you can look forward to hearing from Jeff Lemire on the podcast. And next week is the Nickel City Comic Con. I've already confirmed with Ron Mars that I'm going to sit down with them. Old guest of the show, Nigel Carrington's going to be on, or is going to be there. So I'm probably going to chat with him. Will Rodriguez from, what was the book he did? I'm forgetting the book he did right now, but he's an indie creator. I'm going to try to talk to him while I'm there. And others. I mean, there's so many people that are going to be there. Hopefully I can sit down and talk with as many as possible, but we all have time constraints and there's only so much time in the day. So if nothing else, we'll get a few good interviews from there. we'll stitch them together. That'll be on the podcast. Hopefully, we'll meet some cool people. If you guys are there at Nickel City, you'll see me. You won't see Mike. Mike is a busy man, so he can't come out to this one. But I wanted to make it out, especially since they were nice enough to invite us as press. The following week, what do we got for the following week? Oh, that's right, Jim McCann. So yeah, after that, Jim McCann will be on. And if you don't know who Jim McCann is, Jim McCann, he writes for Marvel. He's doing a all ages Marvel book right now. So I reached out to him because I wanted to talk about all ages comics and the big two and what that, growing that is for people. So two great guests in the next 2 weeks. Next week, you'll have a bunch of great people on. Things are looking good for the next couple weeks. We got more beyond that. I'll talk more about that when we get closer, because obviously I'll be doing another live stream and not next Saturday, but the following Saturday, 8 p.m. Once again, sorry this is late, but Jeff wanted to do it today at 8. I wasn't going to tell Jeff no. So I'm not getting any questions. I'm not getting a whole lot of people. So I got the announcements out there. Hopefully people get to see this and know what's going on. Thanks for watching, everybody.